Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the 5th episode of the Quarterly Theory Bootcamp. Today's lecture is going to be a very special one. We're going to be covering the concept of the precision swing point, also known as a PSP, okay? So this is a very special concept. I'm sure you've probably never heard of it before, or if you have, you probably don't have the most information on it. Well, this concept is very special. It actually allows you to top and bottom tick most of the moves. It's usually always there before every single reversal, and it's a very, very highly efficient way to capture higher RR trades as opposed to some of the other concepts that we've already covered. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So to actually understand what a precision swing point is, do you understand, we've got the word swing point in the name of the concept. So you need to understand what a swing point is. And here we've got a little example, okay? Essentially all it is a 3-candle pattern where candle number 2 has either a lower wick in a bullish scenario or a higher wick in a bearish scenario than the candle to the left of it and the candle to the right of it, okay? So our swing point candle, we'll call that candle number 2. The candle to the left is candle number 1. The candle to the right is candle number 3, okay? So as you can see, candle number 2 has a lower wick than the candle to the left of it, candle number 1, and also a lower wick than the candle to the right of it, candle number 3, okay? So that is essentially all a swing point is. This is a bullish example, and this here is a bearish example, okay? Super simple. And now you understand what an actual swing point is. Let me show you guys a diagram, an example of now a precision swing point. Super simple. It's the exact same concept. We still need to see that swing point formation form. But if you look a little bit closer, if you look a little bit closer, first of all, you must be looking at closely correlated assets for this specific asset. So like we always do to look for sequential SMTs, TCISDs, we must be looking at a triad at closely correlated assets, okay? So in this case, we're looking at NQ and ES. They have both formed a swing point. Keep in mind the swing point must form at the exact same time. So imagine this is the hourly time frame. Imagine this is 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, okay? As you can see, the 9 o'clock candle on both the assets form that swing point. But if we look a little bit deeper, notice how it closes bullish on NQ and it closes bearish on ES, okay? That is it. That is a precision swing point where we get closely correlated assets forming a swing point at the exact same time, and the closely correlated assets have a different closure amongst each other, okay? So NQ could have closed bearish, ES could have closed bullish. That would still be classified as a precision swing point, a PSP, okay? So super simple. That is what one is. Now, if we go ahead and look to our right here, you can see we've got almost the same example again with ES creating that swing point. NQ, however, this time didn't create a swing point, okay? So you can see here, candle number 2 on NQ isn't a swing point. The swing point here, well, we don't actually know because we don't know what candle number 1, the candle to the left of this candle looks like. But either way, you can see that candle number 2 here isn't a swing point. But if we look a little bit closer, again, within this 3-candle pattern, imagine this is the same time frame, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock candle closes bearish on ES, closes bullish on NQ, right? No, it does need to form at the exact same time, but it doesn't need to be a swing point on all the closely correlated assets, right? So as long as at least one of the assets print a swing point and another asset, doesn't need to, but then what we're doing is we're looking at the closure still. So 9 o'clock closes bullish on NQ, 9 o'clock here closes bearish on ES. This would still be classified as a precision swing point because at least one asset has formed the swing point, right? So on this asset, it would be called a precision swing point, a PSP. And the other name that we have for this type of candle is a precision candle or a PSC, okay? Because it isn't a swing point, so we can't call it a precision swing point, but it's known as a precision candle because it has that different closure, bullish as opposed to bearish, amongst the closely correlated assets at the exact same time, right? So we're not looking at random candles, we're not looking at the 7 o'clock candle on NQ and then the 9 o'clock candle on ES, seeing if they close different. No, it has to be the exact same candle on any time frame. So we could be on the 4-hour, looking at the 6 a.m. candle on NQ and ES, as long as NQ closes bullish or bearish and ES has a different closure. So if NQ closes bullish, ES closes bearish for that 6 o'clock candle, that would be, well, a precision candle. But if one of the assets forms a swing point off that specific candle, then it'd be called a precision swing point on that asset and a precision candle on the asset that didn't form a swing point. So these are 2 scenarios that can occur. You can have one asset print a precision candle, one a PSP, or you can still have both assets forming a swing point at the same time, and they're both just called precision swing points, okay? But the main thing is one asset must print a swing point, and then you must have that different closure amongst the closely correlated assets. You can still trade based upon precision candles. So imagine ES didn't form a swing point here. Imagine it was like NQ, but it still closed bearish. That would still be classified as a precision candle amongst the assets. It just wouldn't be a PSP. And in particular, this video, we're going to be diving into PSPs, mainly because those are the ones that are going to yield those higher RR trades, okay? So with that being said, now you guys actually know what to look for in terms of a PSP. Now let me show you guys what PSPs are mainly used for, okay? So let me go ahead and move this image up slightly. Unlock that, push that higher, and then we can dive into our classic old trusty little example sheet that we've always got on every single video, so you guys know the time frame alignment, okay? So pretty basic, you know, it's everything that you guys should be looking for, that you know you should be looking for. Just classic, you know, monthly cycle, 4-hour time frame, monthly cycle, sequential SMT, and then the way the PSP comes into play is on the same specific time frame the sequential SMT forms at. We're looking for a 4-hour PSP formation to form, right? So no matter what cycle we're looking at, you know, you guys know the time frames of the cycles. We essentially must see a precision swing point of that exact same time frame for that specific time cycle form after a sequential SMT, okay? This is not the only way to trade precision swing points. Essentially, this way here, they are used to confirm the sequential SMT. So like we mentioned within the previous lecture about the true chain and the state of delivery, that's the way that we can confirm a sequential SMT. We can also use precision swing points to, again, confirm the sequential SMTs that are forming, right? So daily cycle sequential SMT viewed on the 15-minute time frame. After the sequential SMT has taken place, we want to see a 15-minute precision swing point formation form. Okay. So I know I'm sure you probably got a few questions. So I'm going to clear up a few things here now. So if the candle that creates sequential SMT closes as a PSP, that is still fine. You can still look for an entry after that. Or if the candle that creates sequential SMT isn't a PSP, which, you know, it won't always be, and it's pretty rare to see it sometimes, you know, I'd say it's probably got like a 30% chance of forming. That's still fine. You can wait a few candles after the sequential SMT has taken place. Maybe price is chopping up a little bit, then it forms that PSP. And then you can be thinking, okay, cool, we've got our sequential SMT, we've got our PSP, now I'm going to be looking for my entry. You ideally don't want to see it form too late after the sequential SMT is formed. So let's say we've got a weekly cycle sequential SMT, you know, let's say it forms, 6 a.m., right? 6 a.m., you can look for it to form at the 6 a.m. candle, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. If it's like 4 or 5 hours after, so I'm saying like, if it's between like 5 to 7 candles after the sequential SMT has taken place, maybe be a little bit more cautious. You ideally want to see it form pretty close after the sequential SMT has taken place, because essentially what a PSP is another form of a crack in correlation, which is what we're looking for when trading the closely correlated assets. So a sequential SMT is a crack in correlation. It shows us that price is most likely going to reverse. And then a precision swing point is another form of a crack in correlation, which again indicates that price is likely to reverse. So if you combine the two together, we know that we're dealing with a pretty high probability setup. But there's many ways in which we can use PSPs. You can also use them just on their own without a sequential SMT. They can help give you bias. So we'll be diving into charts shortly, explaining the different ways in which we can use them, okay? But lastly, before we do that, here's just a little example of how a precision swing point setup may look after a sequential SMT forms, okay? So as you can see, Q2, Q3, imagine this is two closely correlated assets, obviously NQ, ES, for example, right? So as you can see, NQ runs out Q2's highest high. Let's say it's, daily cycle. Let's say this is London high, it runs out during the AM session, during Q3. As you can see, we run above it, okay? And then imagine ES fails to run above Q2's high, London's high, and then we're looking for that precision swing point to form. As you can see, this specific candle here closes bullish on NQ, and this same specific candle closes bearish on ES, right? So now we've got our sequential SMT, we've got our precision swing point. I don't even think it formed off the candle that created sequential SMT, I believe. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, look at that. As you can see, the specific candle that created sequential SMT would be actually this one here, which is kind of like a doji candle. And then the candle immediately after formed as a precision swing point. then we got that move lower. Okay, so that's what I mean. We don't need to see it form off the exact same specific candle. It can be a few candles after, but ideally not too many, because if you wait too many, then usually the move has already kicked off, like this, for example, and then you're looking for a PSP down here, and it's just not going to give the high RR. Whereas in this case here, look at the RR that you could have gotten just based upon that swing point. So now also, I'm going to be jumping into the charts and showing you guys how to actually get the higher RR trades based off a PSP, because there's multiple entries that you can take. As you can see, the PSP candle, our candle number 2, what you can do is actually directly enter off the open of candle number 3 based upon how candle number 2 closes, because you can see we've got that different closure amongst the assets. So bullish for NQ, bearish for ES. So what we can do is enter candle 3 in anticipation that the precision swing point is going to hold. That can be a little bit more risky, so you can wait for this candle to close, candle number 3, then you know you've got the precision swing point formation, 1, 2, 3 candles. Enter off 4, stop can go on the PSP high if it's not too large of a stop loss, and then you can ride the move lower that way. My personal favorite way is to enter off candle number 3, anticipating that the PSP candle will likely hold based upon how it closes. We've got that cracking correlation, bullish for NQ, bearish for ES. Another thing to note in terms of that as well is if we're thinking logically, we've got a bearish sequential SMT, we're expecting lower prices. We kind of want to see the assets printing bearish candles, right? To show us that price wants to go lower. We want to see those nice bearish closures. So the asset that prints a bearish candle is likely more weaker, so less likely to run out the PSP high. So ideally, that would be the asset that you would be wanting to enter on, okay? So entry at candle number 3, stop on the PSP high as it was a bearish closure, anticipating this high not to get ran. And then you can see it's a lot weaker of an asset because it expanded a little bit more aggressively. You can see relatively the same, but like this candle here in the middle was a lot larger for ES, for example, and then also this one seems like it was a little bit larger. But we'll be diving into the examples on the charts of this, knowing when and when you shouldn't be entering a PSP, and which asset to take it on essentially. But in this case, you can see NQ printed a bullish candle, so it was a little bit more likely to run the PSP high. Doesn't mean it's going to, it just means ideally you want to enter on the asset that prints a bearish candle, because it's showing more weakness within that asset. And notice how this asset also formed the value swing for the sequential SMT. Again, that's another form of weakness within this asset because it's failing to take out liquidity, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. That is essentially like a full lecture right there. I can end the video there and you guys will already have the information. But what we're going to do now is jump into a few chart examples and show you, how to use a PSP in its full power, basically, okay? So yeah, I'll see you guys in the charts very shortly. Alright guys, so we are now inside of the charts and we're going to be going over a few examples. I'll also put it in replay mode a few times to show you guys sort of the thought process behind entering a precision swing point as it's forming in real time essentially, okay? Well, first of all, I just want to show you another quick example of, of one format essentially. So as you can see, this was literally a trade during this week. Q4, Q1 on the 15-minute time frame. So this will be a daily cycle sequential SMT between the PM and the Asia session. As you can see, NQ creates that value swing. So it's already a lot stronger of an asset compared to the asset that takes liquidity. It's the weaker asset, so more likely to expand higher. And then not only that, if we look at the candle that created sequential SMT, in this case, it was indeed a precision swing point. As you can see, NQ closes bullish, YM closes bearish. Now you're probably wondering what the dots are marked on my chart. Again, it's my quarterly theory toolkit indicator. It does everything for me. So we've got the precision swing point feature, and we also got many filters, filter by true open, sequential SMT, etc, etc. So feel free to grab that link in the description down below, and yeah, we'll make back testing and spotting PSPs a lot easier for you. But anyway, as you can see, bullish closure on NQ, bearish for YM, both a swing point on both the assets. Again, it doesn't matter if it was or not. ES could have, YM, could have literally not even been a swing point. So that will be a precision candle for YM, but then a precision swing point for NQ, okay? So as you can see, it created that value swing, so it's already a stronger asset. And then it also closed bullish as that precision swing point as well. So again, the entry that I like to take when these kind of filters align, where you trade in the value swing asset and the asset also closes either bullish in a bullish scenario or bearish in a bearish scenario, being the stronger candle closure, I like to just enter immediately off the candle 3 open. In this case, it wasn't particularly clean because it had no wick, but let's say it just wicked lower a little bit, then you could have grabbed a crazy entry there. But in this case, even an entry there, as you can see, ran it up to 2R and, you know, even a little bit higher if you would have liked to have done. And then you can see, why did we drop lower? Well, let's go ahead and take a look, shall we? So we got another sequential SMT, YM creating that value swing, NQ creating the turtle soup. As we can see, let's go ahead and mark this out. And in this case, you can see a precision swing point form there and one there. So this is what I mentioned. It doesn't need to form off the candle that creates sequential SMT. In this case, it formed a few candles after. As long as it hasn't really like expanded or given like a large move lower, then it's completely fine to enter. In this case, we even formed a gap. So this is something else to note as well. Precision swing points that form inside of gaps are very, very high probability as well, and can help confirm that gap as well for you to trade. So yeah, as you can see, bullish closure there for NQ, bearish for YM. And you can see YM wasn't a bearish swing point, NQ was, right? So again, this would be called a precision candle, and this would be called a precision swing point, right? So again, you know, you can enter off this candle open, stop on the PSP high, or in this case, even if you wanted the SSMT high would be even better if you can afford to do that, because that would be like the true invalidation of the trade. Because we can run out PSP highs and lows sometimes. You know, they're not always going to be, you know, super clean RR and never get ran out. Like that will happen. But if we can apply the filters to make it lower probability to actually get ran out, then that's great, you know. So sequential SMT, PSP, nice closure in line with where you're expecting price to go. So in this case, we actually, you know, create the turtle soup, the stop run, and also close bullish, but we didn't run the high out. So again, it won't always happen. Again, in this case here though, a bearish candle closure there for NQ, and it was also a bearish one for YM, which means if the indicator is marking out, it must be there with ES. So let's go ahead and pull up ES, and it should be a bullish closure for ES, and look at that. There you guys go. So swing point there on ES and also on NQ, only ever so slightly, but you can see because it's got a dot above it, it has to be a swing point. We've got an indicator that marks out the precision candles as well. It's inside of here, sorry. As you can see, where's it at? Precision candles, so you can have them marked out as well. But in this case, like I said, we'll go over PSPs particularly. So nice bearish candle closure. Entry here of candle number 3 as it opens up, stop on that PSP high, and just insane RR as you guys can see. So yeah, you're basically looking for candle 2 to close and then candle 3 to trade back up into candle 2's wick or body slightly, and anticipate that candle 2, that PSP or precision candle at the time high not to get run, and have it hold as a swing point essentially. But again, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, wait for this candle to close and enter off candle number 4, stop on the PSP high. Again, still nice RR as you can see. So candle 1, candle 2, the PSP, candle 3, boom, the formation's there. We know it's a precision swing point now. Entry of candle 4, stop on the PSP high, and as you can see, very, very nice. But the thing is, sometimes if you don't enter off candle number 3, then the candle 4 entry can be quite a lot lower down. So if you want to take the risk, you can enter candle number 3 if you're truly confident prices, you know, actually going to begin dropping lower. Okay, so now let's go ahead and jump into a replay mode feature. Example of one basically playing out like a sequential SMT plus PSP setup. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and do that now. So what we're actually going to do is we'll just zoom out really, really far, and then we'll stick it in replay mode and literally go over an example as it's forming essentially. But yeah, just to point out, like precision swing points don't have to be after a sequential SMT. They can form at any point, and they generally do just put in the highs and lows of many cycles and days and, you know, sessions, etc. You want to kind of look for them to form at specific points. So rejecting from a true open inside of a fair value gap, or the ICT PDAs, like order blocks, breakers, inversion gaps, because we know that swing points are always there before every single reversal. So if we then filter out the regular swing points with a precision swing point, it's going to add that element of the cracking correlation and just make it so much higher probability essentially. Okay, I mean, look, as you can see here, the indicator, bullish one puts in the low, bearish one gives a small retracement, bearish one puts in like the reversal. Again, like loads of bullish ones along the way up. Again, it's that same thing as sequential SMT and TCISD. If you're in line with the order flow, most of the ones that form in line with that direction are going to hold and give really nice moves higher basically. Yeah, as you guys can see in this example, we do indeed have a daily cycle sequential SMT. So NQ failed to run below Q2's lows, which in this case on the 15 is a daily cycle. ES did run below the lows, so it's run out London's lows during the AM session. So now we're looking for our precision swing point to form. Okay, so this candle here that created it was actually a precision candle. As you can see, it's not a swing point on NQ or on ES. Let's see if it is on YM though. No, not on YM either. So this is actually a great example of a precision candle, which, you know, I said we'll mainly focus on PSPs, but we can go with precision candles again. Same sort of concept, right? Precision candle forms, you ideally want to trade the one that prints the bullish candle in a bullish scenario. So not only did NQ create the value swing, already a stronger asset, but it also created a bullish candle as the precision candle. So you can enter off this candle, stop on that precision candle low, anticipating it not to get ran essentially. But you can see the asset that printed the bearish candle as the precision candle actually did get ran out. So we created a nice total sweep on the precision candle low, and then we got a nice bullish closure, right? So keep that in mind. I think what I'm going to do is do a part 2 for precision swing points, because it's actually another sort of concept inside of them, which makes it very, very high probability to enter from and to look for reactions away from to sort of confirm it's going to hold. But we'll save that for a second video, a part 2. But for now, let's continue with this. Okay, so let's put it in 1x speed actually and just watch these candles as they play out. See if we can capture a PSP as it plays out. So this candle here was a bearish closure for NQ. If there's no dot, it shouldn't be a PSP on YM either. Oh, no, okay, there we go. Perfect, perfect. So we got a nice example here. As you can see, swing point formed there at 10:30 for NQ, and it wasn't a swing point there for YM. So YM is a precision candle, NQ is a precision swing point. We closed bearish on NQ, we closed bullish on YM. Remember, that's the most important thing, the different closures at the exact same time. If this was bearish closure for NQ and bearish for YM, it would just wouldn't be anything. It'd just be a regular bullish swing point and a regular just bullish candle. But because we have that different closure, and now we've got that added cracking correlation, added with the sequential SMT to make this a pretty high probability setup. So again, entry of candle number 3, when it opens up low, stop on that PSP high, low, sorry, in this case, for the bullish scenario, and run it up for that nice high RR, okay? Again, if you was a little bit scared, you can literally enter off candle number 4. Let's say it opens up here, stop on the low and target the highs, for example. So let's see how this next candle opens up. Yep, there you go, it tags you in. So you could have got that entry, or you could have entered off here for the higher RR. And then let's see, so what happens here if we keep letting it play out. See if it runs to those highs. We got an SMT on the highs, but as you can see, eventually did end up running out that high. So again, now we formed a bearish sequential SMT with a bearish precision swing point. So now we could potentially get a move lower, but look how powerful that is, guys. So yeah, super, super nice. Also, one last thing that entered my head before we end off the video there is, do you know the candles that close like doji candles, where they close, where they open essentially? Let me try to find one. Yeah, I think this is one here. See this candle here? Right. So this candle here technically isn't bullish or bearish. It closes where it opens. So, no matter what, you can technically class that as a precision candle or PSP if we close bearish, for example, or bullish on a different asset. We close bearish on YM, we close where we open here on NQ. So you can class it as like a PSP, look for an entry from there. But for me personally, I don't like to really see those type of candles. I like to at least see a nice clear bullish closure and then a bearish on the opposing asset essentially, okay? But you can class those as PSPs if you would like to do so. Just thought I'd put that out there as well before we end off the video there. But yeah, that is going to wrap everything up for today, guys. Hopefully you did find this useful. I'd say it's pretty informative lecture. If you guys did enjoy it and find something useful from it, I'd appreciate all support on the video. Subscribe, comment down below what other episode you'd like to see from me. Leave a like, and don't forget to check out my socials in the description, the free Discord community, my brand new AI trading journal, which I'm going to be making a video on soon. In the description, super, super insane. It's actually going to change, it's going to change everything for the journaling scene. Help you get AI insights on all of your trades essentially, as well as my premium membership group, my one-to-one mentorship, and both the quarterly theory indicators, which we use in this video to help you spot the PSPs as well, and many, many other quarterly theory concepts. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and good trading.